What are your thoughts on going down to Las Vegas?
Well, in the Mountain West, every game is going to be a crusade, and they had a great bounce back against New Mexico. Man, they looked great, and they're a really good basketball team, as you can see with their record. And it is, I think I said it before, and it's going to be the case all year long. You got to play a really good game to compete in this league, and that's what we're going to have to take on the road.
Was your excitement of beating Utah State then quickly changed to watching that game, seeing how good they look?
Yeah, it happens quickly. You'd like to take the full day to enjoy it, but what they faced, that's the crazy thing is that we know how hard it is. You guys that have been to the pit and watched a game there, and to do what they did, not many teams can do that. Especially they got down 12 and they just fought through it and kept going and kept, got the job done. And man, that's one of those. That's a feather in their cap, because I don't know how many teams will be able to do that.
They don't have Bryce Hamilton this year. I mean,
they don't.
I don't think so. who are the guys?
You know the answer to that question. Yeah.
Did I say I think?
Yeah. No, but you know the answer to that question. They've got a lot of good guys there playing great together, and there's guys that have picked up the slack. I mean, Harkless has shot more shots than anybody in the Mountain West, and so you say they don't have Bryce, but Harkless is doing tons of that. So, but they're good because not just one guy. They're good because they're playing good as a team, and they're tough and they guard and all those things.
You went 4-0 in that building last year. You looking to keep the?
I don't. That has nothing to do with this year, and has nothing to do with this game, and has those things are for fans and media to write about and talk about it. But we don't even know that. That doesn't. I mean, you could win 100 in a row in some building, and it has no effect on the next one. So that's we got to show up. We got to play a great game. Period.
When you went back and watched the Utah State game, what kind of stuck out to you, other than just how many of the 3-pointers fell in?
Well, we always say this as coaches. It's never as bad as you think, and it's never as good as you think. So that's the case when you watch the film, always. I don't know if I've ever watched a film and go, oh, this was way better than I thought it was, or yeah. So, yeah, we still have to improve in a lot of areas, and we know what those areas are, and we're going to keep grinding and focusing on that. And if we can keep getting better, we got a chance to be a pretty dang good team.
We talked about it a little bit after the game, but what has Kobe Young been doing to get more playing time?
Well, every guy has the certain things that are non-negotiable for them to play, and he had a couple of those. Number one, supreme effort. Sometimes athletes, when you coach really good athletes, sometimes they have a smooth, gait, and they run, and so it doesn't even look like they're going that hard. I think Kobe's got a little of that because he's a world class,
Running the ball or something.
Yeah, right. Where they just look like, hey, it doesn't even look like he's trying very hard. But so I think there's a little bit of that at Kobe, but his had to be. He did have a tendency to coast, and that was something I was working hard with him on, and I think he's gotten better at that. And then he had a tendency to try to make too tricky of plays where we don't need that. That's not what you bring to this team, and he's done a great job with those two things. And then he's using his athleticism for rebounding. He's using it, and he can really, really guard. So credit to Kobe, because it's one of those, like I said, non-negotiables. I'm not going to compromise. You better figure it out, or you won't play. And that's hard for kids, because they if I play, I'll figure it out. No, you'll figure it out and then you'll play, and that's what he's done.
Some guys that don't play a ton come in though and just don't want to screw it up, don't want to put
Right.
themselves right
Which
back
I'm
on the
okay
bench.
with.
And they it's more about, just do my
Yeah,
job, play
yeah.
D, whatever. He's not afraid to, whether it's the mid range or the three, to pull up.
Yeah, because
really be aggressive.
that's not a screw up. I'd rather have you shoot it than turn it over. And I want our guys playing aggressive offensively that way. And he's a good shooter. I want him to shoot. That's a heck of a lot better than a turnover. and our guys know that, and because we have a chance to rebound a missed shot, a turnover is a lot of times dunk on the other end, and so. And like I said, that goes back to my philosophy. I never want our guys, looking over at the bench or worrying about that. No, when you go in, it's a vote of confidence that we put you in. So know that we're not putting you in if you can't handle it, and so you're ready to handle it, and go out there and let it rip. And he can shoot. I feel good about it when it comes off his hand, and so I want him to keep doing that.
You were mentioning that you thought you guys were getting better at finding your shot, and there were a ton of assisted shots. Was ball movement and passing something you stressed?
Yes, it's always something we stress, but it's also, like I said, with different teams, you're going to have different strengths and different personnel strengths, and we've got some odd things out there when you really look at our team, like Najee. He's just an odd basketball player, but he's really good when you let him. When you get his oddness and make it fit into a team's plan. And so that takes some tweaking and adjusting to, and I'm laughing because I'm thinking about some of our players nicknamed him, and it's funny, but so we're adjusting to each other as we go forward, and then now we're getting. I said at the start about how important our bench minutes would be. Well, we don't win that game Saturday without our bench minutes, and so that's coming along too. So all those things are connected, and the value of practice and the value of the desire to keep getting better.
Naj makes a lot of high effort plays that are kind of unique. We talked about his unorthodox shots he might be hitting.
Yeah.
But he'll come in and sneak up on a guy making a defensive rebound and
Yeah.
wipe it away. I mean, how much does that benefit to get those kind of unique extra plays?
Yeah, and that's a guy like that. That's why I've always loved him coming off the bench, because he just gives your team a lift, gives it energy plays, just makes plays where there are no plays. Those things are, that unplanned activity that he can bring to a game is so valuable. It is so valuable, and you got to have one or two guys like that, no doubt about it. And he's definitely, an intangible guy.
I feel like the last couple games, weeks, Chibuzo has gone a little bit under the radar, and then you look at the stat sheet and it's like, holy cow, another great game.
Yeah.
I mean, how some people aren't, seeing him because he's not hitting the last second shot like Marcus, but he's in all that stuff. What has he meant to you guys, and where have you seen him grow the last 3 years?
He's just growing week by week, and the more games he plays, the more he grows. And you got to remember, he's only a sophomore with no college playing experience, really. I mean, his freshman year he got some run, and he had some NCAA tournament experience, all that stuff. So he's a little more mature and older than maybe a freshman kind of situation, but his experience level is a little bit like that. So each week he gets better, and each week his game grows, and it's not, it's never a straight line. Sometimes it's like this, and the game presents weird things sometimes that you deal with, foul trouble, all those kind of things. But he's growing. He's going to be, like I said before, sky's the limit for Buzo.
I know you're only focused on UNLV and Wednesday, but I mean, you look at the next.
That's right. Nope, I don't.
got-
I don't look at the next.
Yeah.
We don't. So I don't even. I'll stop you right there. You don't even ask that question because I don't know what you're talking about. You're speaking.
Well, you didn't want to say it.
Yeah, but you're speaking Russian because I have no idea what's next. I know what's next, UNLV. That's it. So that's the answer, no matter what the question is beyond UNLV. I don't even know. I know that every league game is going to be hard, but if there's something else that you'd like to ask other than beyond UNLV, there's nothing I see beyond there. There's nothing that's our next mountain. Today's practice is the mountain we got to climb, and we're good at focusing on that. And that's another thing for you guys. And it's every game. I mean, you look around the league. I mean, it's crazy. Like what Mexico's got right now. They got Oral Roberts tonight, and then they got San Diego. Everybody's got that. That's the way this Mountain West is, and these environments. And I mean, it's a heck of a basketball league, no doubt about it. I've said that all along, and now I think it's become the deepest it's ever been. The deepest. There's not one night where somebody can play a C game and win. if the other team's playing good.
Why do you think it's like the deepest now? Is it the transfer portal or the combination of a lot of stuff?
I think it is. It's a combination. It's all that COVID stuff. So you got some players that extended their career because of that. You got transfer portal, definitely. It's been a great destination for some transfers. Look at what happened to all our guys. Like how great a careers they had here transferring, and and the coaches. I mean. There's nobody that you can out-coach in this league. Nobody. I mean, they're all there for a reason. I mean, go through them one by one, and they've all got great resumes. They're all great coaches. You're not gonna out-coach any of these guys.
You like where the numbers, whether it be for you guys or just the conference as a whole now? I mean, do you still feel like the league's getting the respect from the computer numbers, I guess, that you think you should be getting?
I don't know. I think you're more of an expert of that. I mean, I know what's going on with it, but I haven't maybe broken it down to say, are we getting the respect? It just feels like we've done when you have 6 teams in the top 60, that makes for good numbers. I mean, I think everyone did an amazing job in the preseason and went out and won games, and I think everyone had the appropriate schedules, and we went out and won games and did our almost as good as you could do. Everybody's got one that you're like, oh, I wish we would have. Oh, yeah, everybody's got those. But that's college basketball around the country. So, yeah, I don't know. What's your thought on that? It seems like we're getting.
You still got 3 teams in the net ranked higher than you. And
yeah.
You play a lot of them coming up. I mean, you got right away. That's 5, 6 quad 1 games or whatever.
Right, and that's crazy, and that's great, and that's So that I think the numbers give you the respect. It'll be interesting how that's all evaluated as we go forward. But it sure feels like there's a lot of good teams.
Didn't drop very far either, so
yeah, they shouldn't. I mean, for both good teams, they shouldn't. So, that's great. And it's a road game, So, yeah, they shouldn't at all. Sorry, Rachel.
No, all good. Sorry, I didn't know you were done. You didn't want to do that. Kobe mentioned that you drew out the ladder again this year. What inspired you to kind of do that for them and give them a look at the season and break it down?
He did say that, huh? Just some things are supposed to be a little private.
Well, I kind of asked him if you did anything like that.
Yeah. Well, because just to teach these guys about what we do, how we approach it. Because it is easy to, like BJ's question wants to draw you into thinking that way. And it's easy to do. And if you think that way, then, well, no, you guys are seeing it and dealing with it from different perspective than we are. And, that mountain can be overwhelming. And that's why you don't let it be that way. And don't let problems get in your head that aren't problems or that aren't, that's the, deal with reality, deal with the present moment. And that's what we focus on. It's a great lesson for these guys to learn. It's great for, hey, I got to fight it. I got to do it. I got to keep compartmentalized. Otherwise, you start doing that and you're like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. And it's easier said than done. And whether it's going good or bad, you start to do that. You start to, even when it's going good, you're like, oh, well, what if we do this? No, that's not my job. That's not their jobs. What can we do at practice day? How can we be here in the present? How can we, focus on our game plan, focus on getting better, all those things. So that's the lesson with that. That's all that is, really. And just keep things in tiny, tiny compartments. And I think I said that at the end of the year last year. That was my team did that better than any team I've ever had. Any team. And that's a skill.
They were, like you were saying last year, they talked about only, the next game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You as a coach though, at what point did you feel like you could, convey that message of living in the present the way you wanted to?
Well, that message started, last year in November. I mean, that's because you get caught up in all that stuff and worrying about things in the future, and it doesn't help you. And so, it's something we work on, and it's a really important skill for mental health. It really is. You live in the past, you worry about your mistakes, and depression sets in, anxiety sets in if you start worrying about the future too much. And So you're helping those guys learn how to do that, and that I think that's a great skill for any of us to have, and be here in the present, and you end up getting a lot more enjoyment out of the ride instead of looking back on it and going, God, I wish we would have. You always do that, no doubt, but you always want to be there where you can enjoy it together, because these guys, that's what we tell them over and over again. You're gonna look back on your college basketball days; those are your best basketball days, because even if you go on to a great professional career, it's professional. It's a job. This is still college basketball, and it's gotten to the level where it is a job now with NIL, but we still want to enjoy it together because we got great guys, great team, great staff. All when you got a bunch of guys you like to be around, you want to make sure you enjoy every moment of it. BJ?
Thanks.
And I got Georgia by 16 tonight.
16.